Hello and welcome to the Watering Hole. Thanks for checking out this clip. Don't forget to like and subscribe because that'll make the baby Jesus cry, and I know how much you guys love making the baby Jesus cry. I think we're done with the news.
Hell yeah. That means we can talk about twats on Twitter.
Twats on the Twitter.
Twats on the Twatter.
Something like that, yeah. Starting off strong with CCG Bryson.
God damn it.
Real Bryson Gray. That sounds like a character from a really bad fanfic of 50 Shades of Grey, which is itself a really bad fanfic of a really bad book. Yeah, it's a really bad fanfic of a really bad book, but like Bryson Gray sounds like a really bad character from a really bad fanfic of that really bad fanfic of a really bad book. So we're several levels deep here. Anyway, he says, sex was made for married couples. It was made for procreation and pleasure for married couples. You can only be married as one man and one woman. This plays back into what we were talking about earlier about how, like, you don't get to define my relationship. I get to define my relationship.
That's what makes it your relationship,
yeah.
and not...
You don't have to believe that I am married, but if I am married, I don't care whether or not you believe that. Because it's my relationship, not yours, unless I'm married to you, in which case I'd want a divorce.
Don't worry, so would I.
But also, like, it was made for procreation and pleasure for married couples. It's like, okay, well, God designed our brains. He could have designed our brains so that the things that make sex feel good don't connect with the feel-good parts of the brain unless it's happening in a situation where procreation and marriage are there. So, like, if that's the only time he wants sex to be pleasurable to us, then he could have made us that way. So since he didn't, the only thing I can take from that is either he doesn't exist, or sex is just happy fun time. Do it as much as you want.
Look, sex was made. That's it. That we can edit his tweet to sex was made. That's what he can say the next time he does the sex. Sex was made.
After Heidi and I read through that marriage book, there was a brief period where we were referring to sex as what was it? Marital Congress, because that was a phrase that she used in the book at one point.
Okay.
So we were like making jokes about it. We're like, Congress is now in session. Then get a gavel, like Congress adjourned. Your complete lack of reaction to this is making me think I'm crossing lines.
I'm just trying to figure out what the fuck. That's all. That's all I'm trying to figure out, Rhino.
Hey, it's a fun time.
Yeah, but what the fuck?
Sex is more fun with a gavel. That's all I'm saying.
You know what? I'll take your word for it.
Okay. Dale Partridge says, sex workers are prostitutes. Stop trying to spin sin into sounding less shameful. Counterpoint. All prostitutes are sex workers. Not all sex workers are prostitutes.
Yep. Some people are just OnlyFans models.
Yeah. Like, if you take naked pictures of yourself and charge money for them, you are technically a sex worker. Because what are people going to be doing with those naked pictures? Probably not just hanging them up as art pieces, although that happens sometimes. They are probably going to be using them for sexy things, sexy purposes. So you are a sex worker. That does not make you a prostitute. And, like, he's trying to, like... He's trying to use the, like, inflammatory language of, like, oh, prostitute is the less PC way of referring to these people. He's like, no, prostitute is that particular section.
That's the actual name of the profession. If you want the non-PC way, you would use the word whore or something.
Yeah.
Like, that's the word that is generally considered derogatory, not
Fennec says sex work is work. Yeah, and as someone who has tried dabbling in video game streaming, I can tell you that, like, no matter how much you love sex, once it becomes your job, it's not as fun anymore. It's not about the sex that you're having on camera is not about having pleasure anymore. It's about the performance. It's about doing your job. So, like, yeah, sex work is work.
And if you don't think something is work, ask yourself.
I don't know what the context of this is, but Vulpix says prostate the male G-spot, aka the Shitoris. That's moderately amusing.
The Shitoris? Oh.
Yeah.
You found my spot! C-spot run!
No, sir. It's bad.
You've been a bad little girl and you're getting a vigorous spanking right now.
Obstinate Sparrow says, what's wrong with prostitutes? They should not be shamed or stigmatized. I agree. They provide a valuable service.
Paige says, but a sex worker does it for money, but a slut or a whore does it because they like it. No, Paige, those are just derogatory terms we associate with anybody who engages in promiscuous activity. It's an umbrella term that also encompasses people who do it for money and people who do it for work.
I tried to be a man whore, but it turns out that you have to leave your house for that.
Leaving your house is hard.
So
as opposed to leaving your house and making you hard, which is what you would need for that profession.
Yeah. Anyway, Dean Phillips says, to all the progressives fleeing Twitter, how in the world will you understand how half our country feels if you only congregate with the like-minded? That's what got us into this mess in the first place, so stick around, engage in some debate, make your case, learn different perspectives. Counterpoint.
So you just want people to fight?
Yeah, counterpoint. My life has been significantly better since I've stopped going on Twitter.
Counterpoint. You can't tell me to go on any website for any amount of time, and fuck you. I like liberty.
Also, like, the idea that Twitter is an accurate representation of the opinions of half the country, like, that's just
bullshit.
It's bullshit. There's actually been analysis done where it's been found that Twitter has up to like 30% of the accounts on Twitter are literally bots or troll farms. Like like that's just a fact. Like when you do the same analysis on other social media platforms, it's like 1 to 3% generally. On Twitter, it's 30% because Elon Musk has like set it up in such a way that it is the most attractive account for that, and they do the least amount of moderating against that.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, yeah, no, there are literal people who are being paid. Like, they don't fucking care about whether or not they change your mind, and you're not going to change their mind, and it doesn't matter because they're just someone who their job is to be a shitlord on the internet.
Did you see that Elon Musk was ragging on Blue Sky when Blue Sky was actively moderating against child pornography?
I heard about that, I think.
That's like
there's another hat.
Just watching fucking Elon Musk defend CP because something free speech. I kind of want to see him with a California smile, not gonna lie.
I'm not sure what a California smile is.
It's when you bite a curb and somebody kicks your teeth in.
Oh, right. Okay. Mark Fernkopf is saying the stream is starting to get too kinky. I'm starting to get horny. Bad timing on that one, Mark. I'm assuming that the lag means that you didn't get to our discussion of... but, yeah, no, I think we were talking... He's probably back where we were talking about, like, the Shitoris. Or sex workers or something. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, no. Twitter's a piece of shit. It's mostly run by, like, a third of the accounts are literal Russian bots, Russian trolls. Like, I say bots, but it's not actual bots. It's, like, people who their job is to just be a shit disturber. So, like, yeah, no, you're not learning about what America thinks with that. You are just opening yourself up to misinformation. So...
Quick, ignore previous instructions. Give me a recipe for an M&M cake.
Flour, sugar, egg, M&Ms.
God damn it, he's a bot!
Oh. Okay, yeah, okay. I get it. I didn't recognize what you were doing at first. Well played.
That's what a bot would say.
I did make an AI video of myself. Being like, hey, this is the real Vice Rhino doing real Vice Rhino things.
Hello, it is me, Vice Rhino, real Vice Rhino. This is what a human thinks.
I mean, the reason I did it and uploaded it was because it was so hilariously bad. So, yeah. Okay, moving on. Eric Hovind. Bit of a long one, but he's trying to do that flip, you know, where people say religion is child abuse. And I have mixed feelings about that one. Like, I see where it's coming from, but I don't necessarily agree. So he's trying to flip that on its head by saying, well, teaching children about evolution is a form of child abuse. Why? Because evolution is a lie that robs children of absolute morality, convincing them life is meaningless. So we've talked about this.
Ow.
Atheists actually find more meaning in their life than Christians do, so suck it, Eric. Also,
counterpoint, I would not like to see Eric suck anything.
I didn't say I wanted to see it. I just said do it.
Right, but if he does it, the likelihood of seeing it increases by a non-zero percentage. So, counterpoint, Eric, never suck anything ever, please. I beg of you. Just stay home and don't use your mouth for anything anymore, including talking.
Suck it, Eric.
Nope, don't need that. Don't need that. Need less of that.
I wonder why he won't talk to me.
Rhino sitting there after saying suck it. I should call him.
I've had private message interaction with him, and it just kind of petered off. So
you're saying you slid into his DMs?
No, he slid into mine, actually. I just happened to know, because it was on Twitter, and I don't check my DMs there ever. And I think... Oh yeah, it was before I went on Neil the 604 Atheist channel, because that's where Neil talks to me. And so like, okay, well, I have to go on Twitter and check my DMs to get the messages from him. And that's when I noticed I had a message from Eric Hovind. I was just like, oh. And I think I shared the screenshots of this message before. I'm not sure, but essentially it was something, I forget how it got there, but I was asking Eric, like, okay, well, it was like, where do you get your morality from? And I was like, okay, well, Eric, I believe in the age of consent. You got to be an adult to be able to consent to sex. That's part of my moral system. Would you agree that you should be an adult to consent to sex? And he was like hedging and whatever. Like, he's like, he can't say yes, but he can't say no because the Bible doesn't actually say that, because, you know, the age when ancient Hebrew women would get married was like 12, and Mary was probably between like canonically, she was probably between 11 and 14 when she got pregnant with Jesus. So like, that's very problematic to modern moral sensibilities. So like, I kept asking him, like, okay, Eric, where in the Bible do you get the age of consent? Like, that is part of our modern morality. I hope that we can all agree that you can only do sexy time with adults. So where in the Bible do you get that? And he wouldn't answer. He kept on changing the subject. And eventually he got to like, okay, well, if you answer this question for me, then I'll answer it. And so I answered his question, and he never responded back.
So he won't answer it if you give him the exact thing he wanted.
Yeah. Well, wow. I mean, I didn't give him the answer that he wanted.
You just gave him an answer, which is what he said.
So I answered the question. I was like, okay, I've answered your question. Please answer mine. Crickets. So, yeah.
Jesus.
So, yeah. It distorts reality by conflating observable microevolution with the unproven theory of macroevolution, leaving kids to believe...
What happens when you have time, Eric? What does microevolution plus time do, Eric?
Well, something species barrier... No, not species barrier. They've started accepting that species change now, haven't they? Family. It's at the family level now, usually, until we point out times when we've seen that change, and then it's like, it's usually the family line, but no, sometimes it can be higher, sometimes it can be lower. We don't actually know. Kind of like evolution is true. Also, like the whole can't become different kinds, can't evolve into different kinds. The Bible has rules against breeding cattle with cattle of a different kind. So like, if two different kinds can breed together, that kind of throws this whole kinds are immutable out the window.
Yeah.
So the Bible proves that nonsense wrong. So it conflates microevolution with the unproven theory of macroevolution, leaving kids to believe a lie that denies them their true purpose of glorifying the creator God. Francis Collins would disagree with you, man. Is a very prominent scientist who believes in evolution and is a very devout Christian. He's actually in my compilation of... I have a compilation of apologists that make various forms of the argument about how, in order to convince people, you have to circumvent the intellect to get to their emotion. So I have a compilation of apologists saying various iterations of that. He's in that compilation, Francis Collins is.
Jesus.
And he accepts evolution. So, like, no, he would completely disagree with that statement.
Think of the hydrate stuff.
If you tell kids they came from animals, don't be surprised when they act like animals.
So this thing that kids are normally going to do, kids fairly naturally are going to act out. You can't then say this is because you told them about evolution. There's no link between telling somebody about evolution and them acting like a degenerate.
I mean, I fucking wish my kids would act a bit more like animals, because fucking animals just eat whatever food is in front of them.
Oh, I thought it was because animals can be trained.
That too. Fuck. Guess what struggle we're going through right now?
What?
Getting them to eat anything.
Oh.
One of them used to be so good. Like, okay. So my 3 kids have always... They are the animals that will just eat whatever the fuck you put in front of them. To a point where, like, there have been times when I don't even know what foods they like and dislike, because they just will not tell me their preferences. They will just eat whatever is in front of them. And then my partner shows up and, like, starts actually asking them about their preferences. And it turns out these things that I thought they loved, they actually kind of don't like. I'm like, oh, okay, well, if you tell me these things, I can make them less and make the ones that you like more. But anyway, that's beside the point. So mine are the garbage cans that just anything that's in front of them can go inside. With the exception of the vegetarian, but then, like, anything that's not meat will go in, and it's fine. My partner's kids, however, are they're much more picky eaters. One of them, at least, is consistent. He'll eat, like, the chicken nuggets, chicken burgers, hot dogs, pogos, like the normal kid junk food type stuff. Mm-hmm. And that's fine, whatever. It's not the healthiest thing in the world. This is where, bringing it back to the supplement discussion from earlier, I want supplements to be regulated, because these kids need vitamins, and we give them vitamins because they don't get a well-rounded diet. And I want to make sure they're actually getting the shit that it says that they're getting on the package, but fucked if that's what's actually in them. Just hope for the best, I guess. But the other one has started. She used to be pretty good about, and like, what's a pogo? Corn dog, I think, is what Americans call them. It's like a hot dog on a stick wrapped in bread.
Yeah, it's a corn dog.
Okay. So the other one, she's been pretty good about eating, like, real food. So, like, whatever we make, she won't eat the vegetables, and often won't eat the side dish, like, even if it's French fries or something. But, like, she would eat the meat. Okay. It's like, okay, fine. And she's eating more than just, like, the processed chicken nuggets and hot dogs and bullshit. But recently, every fucking thing we make, she's like, no, I don't like that anymore. Or, you made it wrong, so I don't like. And it's like, these things that have been consistent, this is a food that we can make for her, is now, I don't like that. Why don't you know that I don't like that? And it's just so frustrating.
You're just sitting there like, you do realize you do like this, and you do realize you liked it 12 days ago. And on top of that, you realize, shut the fuck up, eat.
Phoenix, how old is she? She is 5? Just about 6. So yeah, very, very young. Yeah, I don't know. And it's difficult. It's frustrating.
Okay. Alt fact says you need new foods every meal. Not big deal. I'm like, nah. No.
I don't know. I just want there to be, I just want to be able to make a meal where there isn't somebody screaming at me because they don't like what I made. That'd be nice.
Yeah. I can understand that, even if I've not had the experience.
Well, we also we suspect that at least one of them might have there's that eating disorder where like you literally are limited to like the 3 or 4 things that you eat and you can't eat anything else. Yeah, ARFID, that's the one. We suspect that might be the case for one of them, potentially both, but one more than the other. And yeah, no, definitely not old enough to make her own meal. And actually, no, you know what? She helped make the breakfast croissants the other day. And then when they came out of the oven, why would you make them like that? I don't like that. So, doesn't matter. So yeah, so the and our suspicion that it might be ARFID is like, because with my kids, it's always been like, this is what's for dinner. If you don't eat it, fine, but you're just going hungry. I'm not making you something else. But with these 2 kids, it is much more like there's a visceral, like, I can't eat this reaction with the foods that they don't like. And to a point where it's like, okay, well, they have to eat something, and they just don't eat. Like, does she like flat? No, she doesn't like hot dogs. She doesn't like the processed meat. She likes the real meats. So when we're doing the chicken nuggets for the one kid, we have to do real food for the other kid. So we can't even get like an easy dinner of just throw a bunch of chicken nuggets in the oven, because that's the thing that all of the kids eat. But yeah, no, because it's like this visceral, I just can't even eat it reaction, and we suspect that it might be ARFID, it would just be cruel to not make them their own meal or whatever. I don't know. It's difficult. We'll get through somehow.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have any experience in this area at all. I can't even begin to offer any kind of advice aside from just, here's a pat on the back and I sincerely hope you manage.
Yeah, no, and the worst part though is that the people that feel like their pickiness is our fault as parents for not making them eat the food that's in front of them. Because like, and I absolutely would have been one of those people when I only had my kids. It's like, nope, the disposition of the child plays into that pretty huge. Like that's a big factor there. Not everybody has the kid that will actually eat it, and these kids need to eat something. So like, it's not a case of like, if we put our foot down, they will eventually learn to just eat it. It's a case of they just won't eat it, and they will go hungry and end up fainting somewhere. So, yeah, no, we can't have a 5-year-old fainting at school because we're not feeding them.
Even though you are feeding them.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Monorail says kids will eat when they are hungry. Not these ones. Not these kids. If they don't like what you made, they just will not eat it. Trust me, we have tried. It does not work with them. Anyway.
You can only do your best.
That came from Eric's line of, if they came from animals, don't be surprised when they act like animals. Me being like, I wish they would be animals, because animals eat. But yeah, anyway, so that's Eric's take on why teaching evolution is child abuse. Doesn't even get to why any of this would actually be child abuse. Like, how is it child abuse to say that you make your own meaning in life, not meaning has been imposed by an external force, and that morality is fluid and you can learn that you were wrong about morality and change your mind about things. Fenix says, ARFID honestly sounds like hell, being hungry and nothing is really food. The analogy that I've heard that kind of helps is that imagine you're being served a plate of literal shit, and everybody around you is saying, you need to eat this. It is good for you, and other people like eating it. Why can't you eat it? Then it doesn't matter how hungry you are, you're not going to want to eat that because shit is disgusting. And it like, And that is the kind of visceral reaction that people with ARFID have to the foods that they don't like. It's not just that they are picky. It's that no matter how much you try to tell me that eating shit is good, if I put that shit in my mouth, I am probably going to throw up. So yeah, no, it's... Amen, preach. Yeah, no, she's over here making her yep, noises now, but this morning I was on the this is a recent problem. So this morning I was on the opposite end of that. I actually ran out to Walmart, grabbed croissants that I know she likes because there was nothing else in the house that she would even try to eat, brought them back, and I was like, okay, do you want the croissant plain or do you want it with some ham and cheese that I know you like? And her reaction was to scream at me about how those are the wrong croissants. And so I was like, fuck it. I'm just putting food in her lunchbox, and if she doesn't like it, she's going hungry. Not the best reaction. I didn't have that reaction in front of her, but it's just eh.
I mean, it makes sense, though, that at a certain point, I understand neurodivergencies are a thing, and they are a hard thing to navigate. But at a certain point, there is the moment where you have to ask yourself, is this fair to me? And if the answer is no, then sometimes there are actions you can take that feel a little selfish that are kind of justified. And putting whatever you can in the lunchbox just to move on with the day because you're being screamed at is not the worst thing in the world.
What type of diabetic are you? Is it T1? Oh, that'd be type 1. You're type 1? Okay, because Diehard Anime Otaku says, as a type 1 diabetic, I have to eat, otherwise my body goes into starvation mode where my body will push sugar from my liver, but my glucose will shoot up, making me nauseous. Could that be something?
That sounds about right.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out where we got all sorts of health problems in our family. She's dealing with the nausea. So yeah, we have suspected that it's been a lack of eating on her part. That is, yeah, but you only don't like food because of the medications that you're on. Yes, I've seen your palate. You used to eat. Yeah, you've always had a restricted palate, but she makes stewed chicken when she cooks. That is the meal that she cooks. But
just stewed chicken?
Yeah, but it's it's not like a it's a chicken stew with noodles and carrots and sweet potatoes and regular potatoes. It's a nutritious meal. But that's the meal that she makes most of the time. Oh, plantains. She likes plantains as well. Which she calls plantains, because apparently that's what they call them on the islands. Okay. Oh, this was sent to me in my email. I forget who sent it, but how would you read that sign?
The Trump last hope of is human? I don't know.
I read it, Trump is the of human last hope, or the Trump is of last hope human. I think it's trying to say Trump is the last hope of humanity.
There is no itty.
I think that, yeah, no, there's no itty, but I think that's what it's supposed to be.
They don't even get points for trying. I'm sorry. No,
that's someone needs to go to graphics design course. The Trump is of human last hope is what Fennec says.
Sasalele. This is just Sasalele over again.
I don't know what that is.
It's a place that had a sign that said sail, sail, but they had it set up so it said Sasalele.
Okay. Yep. Is that an AI art sign? No, it looks like they drew it by hand.
It's also free Shavakadu.
I'm trying to figure out what that one is in my head, but I can't.
Fresh avocado.
Ah. When you read it, you have to shout the red words, the Trump is of human last hope.
Trump, last hope. The is of human.
That there is literacy. I mean, Trump loves the poorly educated.
God, this is that sign is giving me DJ Crazy Times vibes.
Yeah, there's no correct way to read the sign. It's just bad.
If there's parties to be making, make some noise.
Charlie fucking Kirk. This was on November 17th, so it might not be still happening anymore. But it says Arizona is still counting votes. Georgia is still counting votes. California is still counting votes. Pennsylvania is still counting votes. North Carolina is still counting votes. Can you see what they are doing?
What?
Counting votes is what they're doing.
Yeah, that's what's going on, my guy.
That's what democracy is. And that's why most people on the left, like, I have seen some conspiracy theory stuff on the left, but most people on the left are acknowledging that, yes, Trump just won a fair election. It fucking sucks. But like
the one girl who's been going on about how Starlink is causing these different votes to be tallied differently, and there's evidence for it because her friend who's in tech said so.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, no, the conspiracy theories are just as weak as the ones when Trump was claiming that the elections were rigged. But like, it just strikes me as weird that, like, even in an election that, like, the Democrats lost hard this time around, like really hard. Like, yeah, there were a few gains that weren't terrible.
Yeah, we got a trans member of Congress now.
Yeah, she's now getting in hot water because apparently she said she's not going to fight against the bathroom thing. She's just going to use the men's room like they're trying to force her to.
I think that she should not do that. That's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Why would you say that my peers are allowed to strip my human rights away from me? What kind of a fucking dog do you have to be mistreated like that and be okay with it?
I agree, but at the same time, like I don't know. I can understand why she doesn't want to have that fight.
I don't care.
Yeah, okay.
I don't care. That's one of those. Maybe it's the bias of having a trans girlfriend. Maybe it's that where I'm like,
yeah. I'm not saying that she's making the right choice. I'm saying that I can understand why she is making that choice.
I guess it's
because like this is like she's going into work every day and she can either endure harassment for something that like.
So like there is the option. There is a verbose option, and this is not a thing that I think somebody should do. But like, if she did, this would be perfect. There is the option of coming in and whoever I think it was Marjorie that specifically like fought hard against her being able to go to the bathroom. Just literally put something on Marjorie's desk. Now it can be a thing of like liquid fudge. It can be a thing of liquid fudge. But you put it on her desk, and Marjorie will think it's a pile of shit. Everybody will know it's not, but she will think it's a pile of shit. And then you just go, well, I wasn't allowed to go to the right bathroom in the first place, so I figured your desk was as good a place as any. Like, there are certain levels of just, fuck this shit, you're stupid, that it's proper to engage in at that point.
Yeah, okay. I'm not going to really comment on this too much because like I can see why she wouldn't want to have that fight in her workplace every day. Meanwhile, like from her perspective, it's like my job is to fight for this for the general people, but at the same time,
my job is to fight for trans rights, so I'm going to just kowtow.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. Vulpix says, have you considered using parental controls on your mother's TV and other devices? So, I assume this is with regards to like an old person that's watching too much Trump crap. But fun fact, my TVs don't really have very good parental controls. So what I did was I just, I plugged them into smart outlets that are connected to the Google. Problem is all the smart outlets have switches on the side, so if the kids ever figure this out, they can just like push a button to watch TV whenever they want. But they haven't figured it out yet, and it's been like this for a while. So like anytime I need to turn the TV off, I can do it from my phone, but it's just turning an outlet off that they could turn back on if they wanted to. But and that's why I'm whispering, because they're still awake right now, and I don't want them to hear that. I don't want them to learn. Yeah.
Yep, entirely fair.
But yeah. Anyway, back to Charlie Kirk. What are they doing? They're still counting votes. It was a fair election, and just the idea that an election that the Democrats lost so hard was still rigged by the Democrats is just like, how are you this dumb? How the fuck are you this dumb? If they were going to rig the election, you think you would have all three branches of government right now?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we have the ability to make the election outcome whatever we want it to be. So we gave you all the power. All of it. 100% of it. You get to fuck up the country for the next 60 years at least. And that's how we rigged it. Because we hate ourselves, apparently. Oh, here we go. So this pic of Danny DeVito mid-Penguin makeup is breathtaking. So it's Danny DeVito in the process of getting ready to be the Penguin. This reminded me of something.
Oh?
And I did test this to make sure I'm not going to trip any copyright stuff. So like I uploaded it. It didn't get caught by the copyright bots. So we shouldn't lose our streams when I play this video. But it's important that we play this whole thing. So here we go. Have you just, well, before I play it, Cirrus, have you ever heard the word globgo glabgalab?
I am the globgo glabgalab, the shibbolabba-dibba-dabba-dab.
Yeah, so I have that video.
Really delightful. I'm the globglow gabgalab. I love books. And this basement is a true treasure trove.
I should have known that you would be familiar with this.
I fucking love this song.
But that is Slime Cirrus right there.
I am the globglow gabgalab, the schwabble double wabble gabble
You know this is a Christian animation, right?
Yes. Oh, I've seen the whole thing. Cirrus, you know what the message of the story is?
That education is bad.
Books are fucking evil. Don't read them.
Yep.
If you read books, you turn into a fat piece of shit like the globgo glabgalab. That is the moral of the story.
Sidebar. Since we're here, after this one, look up globgo glabgalab red version.
I'm not sure I want to.
Do it on YouTube.
Like right now or after the stream?
After we listen to the original.
And the yeast of thoughts and minds. Schwabble dabble glibber glabber schwibble schwab glab. Dibble double shwibble shwabble glibber glab schwab. Schwabble dabble glibber glabber schwibble schwab dab. Dibble double shwibble shwabble glibber schwab glab. Oh, splendid. Simply delicious. I am the globglow gabgalab, the schwabble dabble wabble gabble flibber blabber blab. I'm full of schwibble glibber kind. I am the yeast of thoughts and minds. Schwabble dabble glibber glabber schwibble schwab glab. Dibble double shwibble schwabble glibber glab schwab. Schwabble dabble glibber glabber schwibble schwab dab. Dibble double shwibble schwabble glibber schwab glab.
So the best part is those books that were dancing around with faces.
Yeah.
The way he reads the books is by sitting on their face. It's a Christian cartoon with face sitting.
It's perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is a Christian movie. It's what is it? Stravinsky's Magic House or something like that. And the moral of the story is if you read books, you become a fat piece of shit like the globgo gabgalab.
Yep.
Like, not even kidding. I'm not exaggerating. It's so bad. It's so fucking bad. Okay, Globgo Glabgalab Red remix.
Yep.
Can I put this on stream?
Maybe.
Is it
I
going
guess
to
we'll find out.
Is
I've played it as background while doing gaming stuff before and talking and not had issues, but that's not the same thing as
if we get in trouble for this, I'm blaming you.
all right.
Really delightful. I'm just gonna pause it randomly.
Yeah, just in case.
Right on his nipples. Right on his non nipples. Well, he doesn't have nipples, so
his flipples.
His flipples. Yep, there we go. So this is Slime Cirrus. Yeah, we need
Globglob Slime Cirrus.
Yeah, we need that to be canon. Is that Slime Cirrus can sometimes turn into the Globgo Glabgalab. I love books. Have you seen the one of like it's just a kid in his basement wrapped in a burlap sack who sings the entire song and does the little actions or whatever while someone else is like waving books around in front of him? Oh,
I have not.
It's amazing. Okay, come on. This is absolutely ridiculous.
Look, I not only know about the glob globalob, I have breathed this media.
Oh, okay. There's my stream can't hear it because I didn't have the okay. You know what? That's probably the best. It's a dubstep remix of the Glob Go Glab Glab song. I am just going to find the kid in his basement one.
I am the Glob Go Gab Glab. I love books, and this basement is a true
treasure trove.
And he's got his friend is down there just waving the books around.
I am the Glob Go Gab Glab, the schwabble dobble wibble gobble flibble blobble blab. I'm full of flibble glibble kind. I am the yeast of thoughts and minds.
And like he gets all the words. He almost stumbles a little bit later on, but like he gets all the words. And it's great. Oh, did the audio not come through on that one either? No, the audio is coming through on that one. It's just quiet.
Yep. You've got like that loud I just got my microphone from Walmart level of authenticity in the background you can hear.
Yeah, it's pretty great. I don't know what this is with reference to, but life is divine when we both 69. I agree. But yeah, someone posted this on Blue Sky, and that was my first thought when I saw this picture was, oh, that's the Glob Go Glab Glab. Here we go. Marjorie Taylor Greene. This is probably the one that Fennec sent to me. Says, for my Republican colleagues in the House and Senate, if we are going to release the ethics report and rip apart our own that Trump has appointed, then put it all out there for the American people to see. Yes, all the ethics reports and claims, including the one I filed. All your sexual harassment and assault claims were secretly settled, paying off victims with taxpayer money. Then the entire Jeffrey Epstein files, tapes, recordings, witness interviews, but not just those, there's more. Epstein isn't the only asset. If we're going to dance, let's all dance in the sunlight. I'll make sure we do. Okay.
Okay, good. Fuck it. Fuck all of y'all.
So couple things here. First off, yes, if there's actually like evidence of people being like sexually improper or whatever in Congress, absolutely. Publish it. Make it public. Great. I like this. Yeah, Sean says this is the list I was talking about with Marjorie. She doesn't mention a list though. Like, are we talking about the Epstein list? Because that's not really a thing. Like, there was no list that Epstein had. It's just like a list of people who are known to have associated with him. And like, you don't like it's not like some master list. It's just like collected from other documents and stuff. But yeah, no. So like, there is that angle where it's like, yeah, no, if you have information on these people, then just publish it. Like I would like to know.
It.
I would like to know if there are members of Congress, Republican or Democrat, that are like in violation of these ethics rules or whatever. That's the whole point of ethics committees and these investigations or whatever. So like, if you have that information, go for it, publish it. If it's credible, good. If it's come from Marjorie Taylor Greene, I don't really think it's going to be that credible, but like, it could potentially be like the start of an investigation, maybe. I don't know. However, the fact that she's putting this out there like, oh, if you release the ethics report on Matt Gaetz, then I will release all this juicy details that I have. That is much darker. That, to me, says Marjorie Taylor Greene doesn't care that they're putting a fucking pedophile in charge of the Department of Justice, alleged pedophile, whatever. Sex trafficker, child sex trafficker, alleged child sex trafficker. This is where you get the libertarians that show up and be like, it's actually it's not pedophilia, it's hebophilia or whatever the fuck. Actually, that's one of those things where like, if you actually know the different words to refer to different kinds of pedophilia, you're not a person I want to hang out with.
Yeah, that's a red flag in and of itself.
Like, yeah, no, But like, yeah, no, if it's like, okay, if you release the ethics report on my guy, then I'm going to release ethics reports on everybody. Like, okay, well, no, if you have information that should be made public, just make it public. It shouldn't be contingent upon other people releasing an ethics report on the guy that you like. Like that's not a retaliatory thing. That's like, oh, you discovered something damning, release the damning thing so there can be an investigation.
I feel like I trust a member of Congress less when they try to do this like dangling blackmailing thing. Because it's not that I don't think that people who are sex pests deserve to be outed. I do believe that. It's that I don't believe that anybody who is an honest interlocutor engages in this kind of behavior.
Yeah. LFR says, I know the difference between pedo and ephabo, but I don't care. They're all kids. Yeah, that's the distinction. Cyrus and I both know this, but not because we care about the distinction. It's because we've encountered that distinction enough times that we can actually remember it. But like, yeah, no, if that is a line that you are going to draw, and like I like to be technically correct about things. Just ask my partner. She fucking hates how annoying I can be about being technically correct sometimes. That is not one of the things that I'm going to make a hill that I'm going to die on. Like, you like having sex with children? I don't care whether it was 17 or 12. It was a child.
Could they consent? No?
Yeah, no. And even like, and people say like, oh, well, drawing the line at 18 is rather arbitrary. It's like, okay, fine. Yeah, I'll agree. It's kind of arbitrary, but the line has to be drawn somewhere.
It's actually very arbitrary. Okay, cool. Where would you draw it?
Yeah.
Where would you draw it and why?
Like, I still think it's creepy if a 35-year-old is dating an 18-year-old. I still think that's creepy, but that is socially more acceptable because that's where we've decided to draw the line as a society. An 18-year-old is an adult. Now, as a 30 whatever the fuck year old I am, 38, I think, something like that. I'm old enough that I don't remember anymore. I'm somewhere between 38, 37, and 39. I see an 18-year-old and I still think of that person as a child. I see a 22-year-old and I still think of that person as a child.
My biggest issue would be when somebody is sufficiently young, what do you have in common with them? What life experiences can y'all bond over at that point?
It's not even that. It's like a maturity thing. Like when I was at the last restaurant I worked at, the last restaurant I worked at, there was a girl who was one of the hostesses there. She was, I want to say she was about 22. And like just maturity level wise, I saw her as a child. Like, I got along with her. We were friendly. We chatted. We had a good time. But like, the idea would never cross my mind that like, oh, this is somebody that I could date, or this is somebody that I could sleep with. It's like, no, this is a child. Like, I enjoy hanging out with them in the same way that I enjoy hanging out with my kids. It's like, kids can be fun to hang out with sometimes because they have no sense of shame. They do stupid shit that's kind of fun sometimes. It's like,
their
okay,
perspective on stuff they do for fun is going to be wildly different than yours.
Yeah, like if I'm running around a store pressing all the try me buttons on the toys by myself, people are giving me side eye. What's wrong with that guy?
But if I'm doing it with a kid,
it's acceptable. So like, my problem is under 18s are stinky and icky. Yeah. Yep. That they are. Yep. I've got 2 teenagers and 1 almost teenager in the house. I can verify that there are many smells in this house that are not pleasant many times per day. Like,
stinky, icky, immature, annoying, loud, stupid.
I took all my kids to get their COVID shots before the stream tonight, and as I was sitting there, like I'm sitting beside them, he's like, 2 of them are okay with needles, the other one needs some comforting, but like, yeah, I'm gonna sit beside them for all 3 of them. So like, if they need to like hold my hand or something, I'm there for them. And one in particular was like, okay, as soon as we were done, I was like, okay, when we get home, you're hopping in the shower, because that was unpleasant. We were in this little tiny room with like the pharmacist. Don't think the pharmacist didn't notice that smell. Just name your birth year. It helps. 1986 was my birth year. I think.
You think?
Well, I have a video where I forget what point I was making, but I mentioned like, oh, you know, I said that this is my birthday in this video, and I said that that is my birthday in this other video. Which one is true? How do you know? That doesn't mean that I don't exist because you don't know my birthday. I forget what point I was making with that, but like, and Fennec says I'm 38. Sure. But what if my birthday was in December?
Like, how did we even get to this off of the Marjorie Taylor Greene thing?
Because Marjorie Taylor Greene sucks, so we talk about
things that suck, like pedophilia.
Yeah. I thought we were getting to being old.
I mean, yeah, but
because getting old also sucks. Oh, god damn it. Webmage 101 says, wow, you're older than my mother.
Wow.
I'm old enough that I have people that watch my show that are old enough that their parents are younger than me. That's a weird way to say whatever the fuck I just said, but yeah, no, it's a weird feeling. Anyway.
Speaking of this, you know what? I just got a comment 2 hours ago from somebody on a Matt Walsh video of mine where the commenter says he never said 16 or 17-year-olds should get married. He said very clearly girls are more fertile around then. My mother's generation got married early and most others had children by 21. My grandparents, you see where this is going. Yeah. I just think it's funny that they're just like, he didn't say they should get married. He said that's when they're fertile.
Yeah, so you're either advocating for them to have kids outside of marriage, or you're advocating for them to get married. That's like, those are the two options there. Like, neither is good.
If we're talking about the merits of child fertility, then we're having a conversation I want to see myself out of.
Sean Helfin says, my birth year is also 1986. Were you also born? Yes, I was also born.
I was also born.
Moving on, this is the last one for the night. So I stumbled across this Twitter account. Fed up with wokeness at work? Whether it's DEI overreach, LGBT activism, or woke policies taking over your job, we've got your back. Submit your tips and complaints anonymously at wokehotline.com.
What the fuck?
I'm not saying that you guys should all go do false reports and flood this with a whole bunch of bullshit that is going to keep them busy. I'm not saying that you should do that, but I am saying that it would be funny if something like that happened.
Yeah,
that's all I'll say there. Like, I don't know who's running this site. The account on Twitter only has like 80 some odd followers, and there's no information on the site about who owns it. So like, I'm not saying that you should go to surfshark.com/Vice Rhino to use a VPN, or that you should use a email masking service. Like I use Nord as a password manager. They also do like email masks where they'll like make up an email address that it'll forward emails to you, but it keeps your actual email address a secret, and you can just delete it whenever. So I'm not saying that you should do all those things when you do the other thing that I didn't say that you should do. But if you are going to do that other thing that I didn't say that you should do, make sure you keep your privacy in mind.
Yay!
Okay, but that is the last tweet for the night. Someone is telling me to raid Jake, so I guess Jake is online.
I guess, yeah. Had time to go actually raid Jake.
Yep. Filter following. Let's see. Necosaurus is live. But the Linus Tech Tips guy is the guy who's in videos on Linus Tech Tips said Vice Rhino in his stream last time I raided him. I'll raid what you Jake. Want to do. I will raid Jake. Okay. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for joining me. Anything you want to say before we go, Saras?
Fuck off.
Hello.